Good morning, this is Stephen with Iowa Backyard Farmer. Thought we would give you a quick tour of our backyard. You've probably seen several from our greenhouses lately, but yeah, just wanted to give you a quick view of what's going on. A lot of excitement here as we kind of just do a quick wander around the backyard. Our boysenberries are alive again. Our boysenberries are, I think, technically a zone 6, but we planted them here on the south side of our house. And really pleased, they're coming back. And looks like we're going to have a bumper crop this year, so super excited about those. Just kind of wander on around here. We've got our fig sticks from last year. Their figs are like the last thing that we'll see any kind of new growth on, so we'll wait and take a closer look at those as we come back. And just wandering down into the backyard, our gummy berries starting to leaf out. You can see that they're about to put on little flowers. And I know gummy berries are one of those things that it was really popular a couple of years ago as a kind of an alternative type of berry. They're we basically use them because the birds like them. We do snack on them from time to time, but at this point haven't made jam or anything real fancy with them. But they're definitely happy plants here. We've got 3 of them as we walk through our gate. And see other stuff coming up down here on the ground. We've got a couple of new types of rhubarb that we purchased a year ago. These are called kangaroo, and it's supposed to work really well in the super dry areas. And so we've got some other rhubarbs we'll take a look at if we get over there, but the kangaroos are looking pretty good here as well. We just come on down the path. And over here we have got raspberries. So one of the things we wanted to try this last year was to see if can we raise tall raspberries in containers. And I'm trying to remember, these are like 10 or 12 gallon containers, I believe. And yeah, super excited that all of our raspberries came back this year. I wasn't sure if they were going to freeze or if we would lose them this year, but they are back and kind of hanging over the path, so we'll need to do something about that. But excited that our raspberries are coming back. Let's see, what else do we have? We've got a currant bush. This is one of our happier currants, it looks like, this year. Gonna be loaded. We like those in different pastries and stuff that Jennifer makes. Let's come and take a look at our blueberry patch. So up here have a little bit of a raised area, but kind of on the south side of the house. We have about, I think it's about 10 different varieties of blueberries, and they are looking happy. Blueberries are not real easy to grow out here in Iowa because our soil pH is naturally too high, but we've done a lot of work to try to get the pH down to a place that they are happy, and all of them are coming back, and we will have some leaves and flowers coming on here really soon. And so these are probably 4-year-old, maybe 5-year-old bushes, but they come up to my shoulder, so they're looking pretty good. Another thing that we tried this year is blueberries in containers, and these are just brand new from this last year. And anything that you put in a container, we always worry that they will not survive the winter very well, but we can see that the buds are expanding on those, and so those plants are still alive. Coming over here, take a look at some of our blackberries. We like this variety of blackberries. It's the Primark Freedom. Really good, really tasty. It does die back to the ground typically every year. Sometimes we'll get some growth off of last year's, and being here on the south side of the house, we will get that from time to time, but the vast majority of the berries will come from stuff that's just popping up out of the ground now. Be a lot easier to see here and over the next week or two. Now let's take a look and see what our fruit trees are doing today. So our peach tree, look at all those buds. We are going to have peach flowers here probably in just a couple of days. I hope the weather stays warm enough that they'll get pollinated. We've got a pair over here on the background. We'll go over to the other pair here in just a second. I'm so excited to see everything that's just getting ready to pop. And we'll go wind our way around here. These elderberries are just starting to leaf out. They're looking happy, and as I look down on the ground, they are starting to spread. So we'll have to do a little bit of digging up and pruning down to keep them where we want them to be. But generally they're pretty happy in this place. And this is our Asian pear, which again is going to be blooming here probably within the next couple of days. So looking forward to trying those. If you've never tried an Asian pear, they're kind of like an apple, and as much as they're crispy, but they have kind of a pear flavor. They're pretty tasty. Sometimes you'll see them in the stores, but not very often. Kind of a unique fruit that we've got here. Let's see. So we're turning around to come out. It looks like our comfrey starting to come through the ground here. And we have comfrey kind of on the uphill side of a lot of our plants. Our goal for that was that they really drill down into the soil, help with the drainage. This general spot, years ago we drowned several oak trees that we were trying to grow here, and being just downhill from the downspout, we struggled to keep anything alive, but we put in several comfrey to help basically allow the moisture to drain on down, and it's done a really good job. Let's see. Do you remember what these are, my dear?
Hazelbert.
A hazelbert. So a hazelnut filbert cross, basically, and they're fairly new. We've had these 2 years, so we haven't gotten any of the nuts off of them yet, but we will see what we get this year. Okay, come up here, and we have got another fruit tree about ready to bloom. And let's see if I've still got the name on this one. So this is a cherry plum called Compass, and it's 2 years since we've planted it, and looks like we're going to have a lot of blooms on that one here as well. Got a couple of those. Got another one just down the way here. Come up and see what else is blooming today. Our mac-free apple just starting to leaf out here, so we've got had a pretty good crop from it last year. Let's see what we're gonna get this year. Probably our prettiest one here is our plum tree that is just loaded. The pollinators have been super excited. This is the earliest flowering tree that we've got in our neighborhood, so when this one starts to bloom, the pollinators definitely come out and enjoy it. Let's see.
Oh, peas and pots.
What was that? So one of the things that we like to do is just try different ways to grow things, and we got the 5-gallon buckets. We planted peas just a couple days ago, and you look close, we've got peas that are about ready to emerge. And peas are my favorite springtime treat. We plant several different varieties, but it's super delicious. And let's see, I don't know if we're going to see anything on this one quite yet. This is a pawpaw. So a couple of years ago, I went and did a tour of a place that had some pawpaw trees. They gave us samples, and I saved the seeds, stuck them in my pocket, brought them home, did the work to try to get them to germinate. Takes like 3 months after you plant them. So if you've ever tried and feel like you failed, just wait. And I think I had 7 seeds, and all 7 seeds germinated. So we've got 7 pawpaw trees hanging around in various parts of our landscaping. I'm trying to remember what this is. So this is,
I think they're cherry plums or apricots.
These are is it Siberian? What kind of apricot is it? Let's see if I can find a little tag down in here. I'd have to go look it up. Anyway, it's
an apricot cross.
It's a little tiny apricot that handles the cold weather really well. We've had other apricot trees in the past, and we just couldn't ever get anything because the cold. Well, we'll get a cold snap late in the season, and nothing would ever stick. And so these can supposedly handle that cold weather. They're just 2 years old, so we haven't actually tried it yet, but look forward to seeing the results for that one as well. Have our Liberty apple tree back here. I am not sure what to do with this one. It's like 7 years old. We have not seen it flower even once yet, and I know that you have to prune them kind of uniquely. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but for some reason we have not gotten anything to flower on this tree. So hopefully this year will be our year to get that to happen. Now let's see. Like we just have various flowers all over the place. The goal is to have something pretty much year round here. And let's see what we've got for our grapes. We do see some buds about to break, so this one is still alive. I don't know about that branch, but we love our grape juice. We do harvest what 50-60 pounds of grapes every year just off of these couple, and these are fairly young. We've got some time before they get to full production, but people love our fresh grape juice. And this one is,
it's a high bush cranberry.
Yeah, so this is our high bush cranberry, and it's about to flower out as well. So spring is in the air. We are getting very
snow.
close. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So there's the season, that's okay. Another one of the high bush cranberries, so I think it's going to be loaded again this year. And if you guys have any idea on what to do with the berries from these, put it in the comments. We've had berries for I think 2 years now, and right now we just kind of let the birds take them. We have not done anything with them.
Cornelian cherry.
And this is a Cornelian cherry that is just 2 years old. Starting to flower. We'll get some leaves on it, so I'm glad to see it's still alive. I have historically had a cage around it because I didn't want any of the little critters to bug it, but I needed the cage for a fruit tree, and so I took it off in hopes that the critters would leave it alone, and so far I think I don't see any damage to it, so definitely a good sign. And this is another one of those. We've got several of the same thing along the way here.
All high bush cranberry?
All high bush cranberries, yeah. And another
elderberry.
Elderberry, and another elderberry. These things have grown much bigger than when we planted them, so it's a little hard to wander through our path here, but we'll make it through. And let's see. Don't see any signs of growth on this one, but let me take a look maybe. Nope. And this is what, Jennifer?
Serviceberry.
Serviceberry. So just barely starting to peak here on these, so we will have some service berries again to see what it looks like. And that's something coming across from the neighbor's house. And what do we have up here? Our kiwi bushes.
Vines.
Kiwi vines. So if you've never had hardy kiwis, they are delicious. They're about the size of a grape, but they taste like a regular kiwi that you're probably used to seeing in the store. Love these. They don't handle cold weather very well, and so I get excited. I'm like, oh, yay, they're leafing out.
Gonna flower.
And then I look at the forecast and think, we may lose it all again, but we'll give it a try.
Yeah, the vines are very hardy.
The vines are very hardy, but the leaves are not hardy at all. So we shall see if these make it through the weather we've got over the next couple of days. So let's keep on coming through here. Probably see the greenhouses kind of in the background as we're wandering by. Some wild raspberries that I've tried to pull out multiple times, but they're so delicious that I don't try that hard. So just in our garden we planted a couple of days ago. We've got some chard that's looking fairly happy. And then on down we've got our onions and shallots that were just transplanted as well. So they look like they're surviving just fine. And let's come on up and see what we've got out here. Wander by our project that I'd love to get done with.
And tell us a little bit about the project.
So this will be our rain collection tank once we get it all hooked up and connected, but it's about 2,000 gallons based on 30 years of daily rainfall records and our anticipated use. If we can get this hooked up by April 1 of every year, we should only run out of water about 4 days per year. Rainwater should be able to feed all of everything else that we've got here and even allow for an occasional car wash and stuff like that. So watch for future videos on that one. Have a little ways to go before we have that actually hooked up though. Our double gold raspberries. So vines that produced last year, they'll do a summer crop this year. They are looking pretty good. At least up here on the upper portion of the hill. The lower portion, some of those died out when we went on vacation last year, got sick with COVID, so the 3-week vacation ended up being 5 weeks, and it happened to be 5 weeks with 0 rain. So the upper half of this looks pretty good. The lower half will have to transplant some new ones into it. So, and then things to wrap up with, we've got...
Honeyberries.
What are these ones?
Honeyberries.
Honeyberries are flowering as well. If you've never tried honeyberries, they're kind of like a blueberry, a little bit more tart, but they handle the cold really, really well. And so they are typically the first or second things to bloom in our garden every year. And people always ask what they are because they're kind of a unique flower, unique plant. And anyway, have a lot of fun with them. Kids like to pick them in the neighborhood and make a little jam or whatever. And then here, just this last fall, we planted 3 apple trees in our front yard. That one I don't see any signs of life to yet.
It's a pawpaw, isn't it?
Is that a pawpaw?
I think so.
Okay, that could be a pawpaw.
And this is a plum.
And this one, I think if I planted it, I would remember, but this is a plum tree, which is kind of like the plum tree in the back is already got growth on it. So I think you're right. I think the other 2 are pawpaws, because we did read that ideally you'd have different kinds of pawpaw trees to increase the fruit that you're going to get off of it. So we put 2 pawpaws in the front and this plum, because plums would like to have an additional one as well. So anyway, glad to see the plum coming. And anything else I wanted to take a look at today?
No, we'll do greenhouse tour next.
Okay, well, I think that'll be it for us today, and we will talk to you guys later. If you got questions, post them down below. See ya. Bye-bye.